Hey guys, welcome back. So today I actually have quite the entertaining story time for you guys, and it's about how me and my coworker got a mall cop fired. So let's rewind about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I'm working with my coworker Freddi, who, some backstory, Freddi has said on Instagram that they prefer they, them pronouns, but Freddi outwardly appears as a female. Freddi is also only 18 years old. So I go into work, Freddi's there, it's like the first time we've worked together in like months, it's great. So, you know, we start the shift, we're both exhausted, we're like, do we want a coffee or energy drinks? I personally have a sensitive stomach, so sometimes coffee's too much for me, so I drink a lot of Red Bull. I love coffee, but Freddi also prefers Monster energy drinks. So I'm like, let me run over to the convenience store that's right across, because we have a convenience store right across from our store. This is my retail job. So I run over to the convenience store, and one of the employees, who we'll call Shayna, that name works. So Shayna is like, hey, I'm sorry about what happened yesterday, let us know if it's going on again. And I'm like, what do you mean, what happened yesterday? This convenience store specifically has their own security guard, who, we're in a mall, he likes to think that he's an actual mall cop. So I guess that yesterday he had come over to the store and had been hitting on Freddi. Even when Freddi said that they weren't interested, he didn't care. You know, they asked about our other coworker and Freddi was like, oh, she has a boyfriend. And then they were like, oh, what about you? And Freddi's like, oh, I actually have a girlfriend. And then this creep goes, oh, that's even better. Excuse me? And this guy seemed older than me. I would say probably around 28. Freddi is 18. That's not okay. And I guess that he spent the majority of his shift over at our store hitting on poor Freddi. My heart breaks for them, like it really does. So I go back to the store after getting our energy drinks and I'm like, why didn't you tell me about this? Like, WTF? So Freddi gives me the lowdown on everything about him, about how disrespectful it was that when Freddi said the other coworker had a boyfriend, it was like, okay, cool, I'll back off and won't flirt with that coworker. But then when they said that they had a girlfriend, he was only hitting on them more, which is extremely disrespectful and extremely rude, and anyways, so fast forward to an hour later. So we're just doing our normal thing at work, and the guy comes over and starts trying to flirt with Freddi. And he just won't leave. He's coming near behind the register, but not coming behind the register. And I don't even remember what he was saying, but it was some stuff that was inappropriate to say in front of customers, and we were ringing out customers. He ended up having to go back to his store for a little bit. And we're like, okay, that was so uncomfortable. And our customer literally says, you guys need to call mall security. That is not okay. The things he's saying to you is not okay. You should never feel uncomfortable at work. Which is true. You shouldn't. And if you guys are in this situation, by all means, call mall security immediately. The problem with me and Freddi is that we're both people pleasers. And we don't want to be like, no, this isn't okay, please make them leave. We're like, no, it's fine, you can stay. So then the guy comes back over and starts telling us how he got fired from the convenience store because I guess that the day before he had pet a service dog. And if you guys don't know, service dogs are my hill to die on. If I hear someone start talking about a service dog, I immediately get involved because service dogs are a huge deal to me. I should have one. I randomly pass out and lose consciousness all the time. I don't know if any of you guys know that or not, but that's a thing that happens with me. And I should have a service dog to detect when that's going to happen, but I don't. So because of that, service dogs are a huge thing in my life. I'm very vocal about my opinions on them. I'm very vocal about what the actual laws are. So the guy says, I pet a service dog, but it's not my fault. It wasn't wearing a vest, and I saw a dog, so I can't help but pet it. I understand if you see a dog and you're like, oh, how cute, but you don't just go up and pet someone's dog without asking them first. Service dog or not, that's rule number 1 that you're taught as a kid. You see a dog, you ask the owner, can I pet your dog? Rule number 1, people. But so I tell him like, oh, like service dogs actually aren't required to have vests. And he's like, yes, they are. You can't tell if they're a service dog otherwise. They need to wear a vest. And I'm like, well, no, legally they don't need to wear a vest. And then he goes, well, she wasn't blind anyway, so it definitely wasn't a service dog. I snapped, guys. I look him dead in the eye and I go, I'm supposed to have a service dog because I randomly lose consciousness and it can alert me so that I don't end up falling down a flight of stairs, so that I don't end up falling over a ledge, just in general, to make sure I'm safe. I need a service dog and I'm not blind. And he's like, well, but she wasn't blind. She doesn't need it. And Freddi, I love Freddi so much, goes, oh yeah, like I heard recently there was a court case, like someone got sued because, you know, they were talking to someone's service dog and distracted it, and that person had a seizure and ended up owing like $10,000 in hospital bills. They sued this other person who now owes like $100,000 to them. And the guy's just like, well, they should be wearing a vest. I literally had to walk away at that point. So I turn around and I start to walk away, but then I hear our bell dinging. Like most stores, we have a bell in the doorway. So when it dings, you turn around, you know, greet the customers, all that fun stuff. Small security walking in. I guess that at the convenience store, because in the mall, guys, everything is all, you know, big windows, all that fun stuff. The convenience store, they saw him in there, not leaving us, and they called mall security. So mall security is talking to him about like, hey, is everything okay here? What are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm talking to my friends. We're just sitting there like, we're not your friends, dude. What? But, so he's like, no, I'm just talking to my friends. I'm just talking to my friends. So mall security's like, okay. And then once they leave, they take out their cell phones, they call the store, and Freddi picks up, and security asks like, are you sure you're okay? Did you just feel uncomfortable saying anything in front of him? And Freddi's just like, no, we're okay, we're okay. And they're like, okay, if it gets bad, please call us. He was escorted out of the convenience store. We don't mind escorting him out of the mall. At this point, we didn't know there was a convenience store that had called. We're standing there and we're like, what if it was the customer? We're both convinced at this point that it's the customer that had told us to get a hold of security because the timing just added up. I'm very grateful that the convenience store called, but I'm kind of sad it wasn't the customer because that would have made the story 20 times better. So this guy keeps getting phone calls from his boss. He keeps leaving and coming back, because even though he was fired from the convenience store, he works for like a security company that the convenience store hires, if that makes sense. So he does still have a boss and still has a job, just not at our convenience store. Yeah, makes sense? Okay, good. So this guy comes back after one of his phone calls with his boss. He's telling us like, oh yeah, I live at like this beach that's like an hour and a half away from us. So why would you travel an hour and a half for work? He's like, you guys should come up and party at the beach house some of these days. Like, it'll be fun. I don't have any friends. You know, my ex-fiance left me and I put a gun to my head and the cop showed up and put me in the hospital. So now I can't own guns for this long, but I went in voluntarily so I can still be a security guard. So it's not considered a psychiatric hold since I went in voluntarily, but I was gonna shoot myself in the head because my fiance left me. Are you kidding me? And at this point, I'm just like, no, I'm done. Go away, sir. I want nothing to do with you. We're trying to work. Every time a customer comes up, he starts going on and on and on about how his fiance left him and how he can't have guns anymore. And I'm just like, what is actually wrong with you? A, oversharing with strangers. You met Freddi yesterday. You've never met me before. Why are you telling us this? B, yes, 2B. Close enough. You guys get it. B, you don't know someone's story. You don't know if the customer that we're ringing out just lost their child to suicide, and yet you're talking about how you put a gun to your head and you are going to shoot yourself. You can't say those things to people and in front of people because you don't know their story. You could tell the customers were all feeling uncomfortable. We're like, what do we do? And then, I guess, the Shayna from the convenience store called mall security again and said he's still not leaving. And then they called his bosses again. and his boss called and said, you need to leave the mall now. You are going to be escorted and banned from the mall. You need to leave the mall now. So, away he went. This is great though, because he kept talking about like finding us on Snapchat and things like that. And me and Freddi are just like, sorry, we don't do social media. We don't believe in social media. Like, we think that it's just something for like the teenagers nowadays. We don't do it. Guys, I'm a YouTuber. To say I don't have social media, I'm a YouTuber. I have every social media. But he's just like, oh, like, I respect that. I respect that. Like, that's a good thing not at social media. I deleted my Facebook after my fiance left me. Are you kidding me? Stop bringing her up. Did I forget any other key points? I have a list where Freddi wrote down like everything that had happened. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And Freddi's like, yeah, I have a shit memory. So I'm writing it all down so I never forget it. And I'm like, hey, let me take a picture of your picture. The smartest things I do. According to the note I took a picture of, that's pretty much it. He was extremely creepy. We ended up having security walking Freddi to their car after because it was Freddi that this guy was interested in. Me, I was able to just hide off to the side. Didn't even ask if I had a boyfriend, and if they did, I totally would have lied and said yes, because who wouldn't in that situation? I have enough pictures of me and guy friends that I could just be like, yeah, this is my boyfriend, see how cute we are? Like, it's fine. It's totally fine. Not gonna lie, I've done that to plenty of creepy guys in the past. But yeah, guys, that is how Freddi and I ended up getting a creepy mall cop fired, because the other mall cops ended up coming and saving us. Because when you work a retail job, you get to know the mall cops, and you watch out for them, they watch out for you. Our mall is really, really run down, and everyone in our area, the mall specifically, keeps an eye out for each other. We have a little knick-knack store near us where we know the owners so well, they know us, we all take care of each other. Us in the convenience store, we all know each other so well, we'll come and go. The security guards, I love the mall. And that's how our area of the mall works. We all know each other, we all keep an eye out for each other. One of the mall cops literally bought me pizza one day because I was at work by myself and I was hungry, and he came in and he bought shoes, because if you guys don't know, I work at Payless. He came in and he bought shoes, and then he'd been like, oh, like, are you by yourself? And in general, you don't tell anyone that you're alone, except for mall cops. They need to know what's going on. And I'm like, oh yeah, like, it's just me here. And he's like, oh, like, when you get a lunch? And I'm like, I don't know. And he went out and he got me pizza, and he brought me back pizza, and it was the sweetest thing. And that's the way the mall works. So get a creepy guy, get him fired, everyone keeps an eye out for you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not subscribed yet, and make sure to hit the bell, because with the way that YouTube works now, if you don't hit the bell, you really don't find out about videos. It's crazy. I have plenty of people I'm subscribed to that never show up in my subscription feed. So make sure to hit the bell, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
I don't know, but I've been told the world outside is oh so cold. So cold.